Well, Carl, I'm a little bit chilly for this recording a Wiki weekend.
Yeah, it's just a tad cold where we are, right?
If I was where, the subject of this is, I would be a lot more toasty, Carl, because this game, partly, at very least, takes place in hell. Can you think of games that take place in hell, Carl?
There's a lot. And there's games that feel like they take place in hell.
Well, this game does take place in hell, kind of, but it is, of course, Doom 2016, where you initially start out on, Mars or something, right, and then you end up in hell.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Doom is a 2016 first-person shooter video game developed by id Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. So we're talking about the 2016 reboot of Doom.
It's up there as one of the best comebacks, right? So don't call it a comeback. I've been here the entire time because Doom never went away. Doom was just hiding on pregnancy tests and MRI screens, right? Where people would program it to run on fucking everything. So Doom never went away. But in 2016, he slapped on a new pair of boots and strolled outside I got some demons to kill.
There was the dark times for Doom where it wasn't
the literal dark times, right? With Doom 3.
Yeah, last thing, Doom 3 was just a bit strange. It's not a bad game, but it's hey, do you want to be a slow-paced horror vibe kind of shooter where you're in the total darkness and need a flashlight all the time? It's again, it wasn't a bad game, it just was very, very different for Doom.
It didn't feel like Doom. Even the first Doom game, it's slow-paced is not how you can describe Doom, considering that people have gone into the game, the first Doom, calculated how tall Doom guy is and how fast he runs, and the dude runs at 60 miles an hour, diagonally, because the fastest way to move in Doom is to run against a wall diagonally, at which point Doom guy's speed is above 60 miles an hour while carrying 40 rocket launchers.
It's like watching not Doom speedruns, sorry, Quake speedruns, right, where just you see people bunny hopping backwards for mobility because there was no limit on backwards acceleration or something.
Or rocket jumping, right? That was in Quake, which that wouldn't work in Doom because Doom guy's balls were 8 ton. I don't think he could rocket jump because he's just weighed down by those lead line cast iron balls.
It's so strange because I'm not going to get too much into it, but the trailer that inspired me to talk about Doom today was the Doom The Dark Ages trailer that's, a few months before launch of the game, and they talked about bringing Doom back to a slow-paced, tanky shooter where seemingly you might not be able to jump, or you might just be limited in your mobility a lot more, whereas Doom Eternal, you were flying around.
Doom Eternal basically gave you Spider-Man's web swinging, because it gave you the meat hook, which is super fucking cool. It's I don't mind them taking a different direction because Doom has more than earned my trust with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. They're different games and different experiences, and I like them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Well, they're both. You can't argue that they're not fantastic, well-made, meaty. Meaty is the right word, right?
Yes.
Literally, just that meaty, just visceral action.
There are some gripes that I've got with Doom 2016 that I will bring up because I recently just started getting excited about Doom The Dark Ages. You know what? Doom's on Game Pass. I'm going to download it again, and I'm going to just blitz through it. And for the most part, I blitzed through it. But then I remembered just how much of the game is going and finding really awkward secrets.
Oh yeah, where it's scraping for resources or hole wugging.
And
to try and find the extras.
the actual action of Doom in 2016, I'm just going to refer to it as Doom from now on.
Yeah, so when we say Doom, we mean Doom 2016. We'll clarify if we mean original Doom, Doom 2, Ultimate Doom, Doom 3, or Doom Eternal. So when we say Doom, it's Doom 2016, but only in this video.
Just in this one. But yes, when I'm playing Doom, I'm having a fantastic time when I'm just ripping and tearing through enemies, right?
Something we've talked about in the past that I would like to ask the audience for their input on is when we talk about games that deliver on the cover art. And I always think of that cover art of the original Doom, of like Doom guy strangling a demon with one hand and a shotgun in the other in hell. It's like, when you look at that cover and you think, okay, the game can never deliver on that. And it's like, it did, it just took like 20 fucking years. In Doom 2016, that's what you feel like.
Yeah, in the newer Doom you do. And I would argue the original Doom 1 and 2 made you feel like that.
Yeah, you just got to use your mind, your imagination a bit.
It was one of those of your mind was filling in the blanks a little bit, whereas Doom just comes in and is like, no, you are going to like be glory killing everything in sight. I'm going to have some gripes, and they are minor gripes with a fantastic playing game.
Both love Doom, but we are going to have... You've got some issues, but they don't mean that you don't like the game. They just mean you wish the game was better.
I do wish the game was even better than it is, yes. And I really enjoyed most of my time playing through the campaign again, and is one of those throwbacks to older games where it's like, why the fuck was there a multiplayer in this? I saw that on the really bad main menu and was like, oh yeah, that was in there.
The thing is though, I've heard the multiplayer was quite good, but Doom being a power fantasy, I never wanted to go against someone else who was better at playing Doom, because that would immediately make me not feel like Doom guy.
Yeah, and it's not that games can't have multiplayer and single player, but I am there for Doom for the single player. I'm just there to play as like that, 4 to 8 hour campaign, get in and out, and just probably replay it multiple times, because this is my third time playing through Doom.
Just go back through all the weapons, because that's one of the first things you do, right? Is you go, okay, now I'm going to go back through the first level with the fucking pulse rifle and shit, let's go.
Mm-hmm. You mean super shotgun?
Well, the super shotgun is like the best weapon in the game, right? It's so good that in Doom Eternal, there's an entire, like, in the first game, there's Doom 2016 is an entire level about getting the BFG. In Doom Eternal, it's like, fuck the BFG, it's the super shotgun with demons worshipping it like some sort of what I love as well is, in canon, Doom Guy's super shotgun is not a special shotgun. It's just a regular shotgun.
It's a regular super shotgun. It's like the super shotgun is a weapon that's super, but it's no more super than anyone else's super shotgun.
It's just that the demons think it is this legendary implement of destruction, because Doom Guy is so fucking... He's a surgeon with that thing.
Yeah.
During Kill Bill, where that lady turns up to kill the bride, and it's like, are you good with that shotgun? It's like, I'm a fucking surgeon with this shotgun. That's Doom Guy.
And by surgeon with his shotgun, you mean obliterating everything inside. There's no surgery involved, there's just explosive demolition.
It's like, one of the things I love about Doom is that I love the ambiguity of, which they kind of ruined in Eternal by, oh no, Doom Guy's got magic powers and he's like divine. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. But in Doom 20, I love that. It's like they never really clarify. Is Doom Guy magic? Or is he just really fucking mad?
Is he just a marine that wants to kick some fucking ass?
And they think that he's magic.
Mm-hmm. I love that interpretation. And as you say, like, Doom Eternal kind of just ruined that a little bit in my eyes. Of just, he's way more cool when he's just a fucking guy.
Yeah, that's why he's called Doom Guy. He's so unassuming, like, who's this guy? It's Doom Guy.
It's Doom Guy. Doom Guy, Doom Slayer, we're going to use them interchangeably, but yeah.
I don't mind that they call him the Doom Slayer, because, like, of course the demons have got a cooler, more metal name for him, but it's the fact that everyone's like, no, it's Doom Guy.
Mm-hmm.
So what's he here for? Just kill demons. And like I said, I love the ambiguity of whether or not he's got like any sort of supernatural powers, or is he just a guy with a shotgun who really fucking hates demons?
Yeah.
It's like just the super shotgun. It's not a magic weapon. It's not this holy relic wielded by the legendary Slayer. No, it's just a shotgun.
It's just a shotgun. He's not Master Chief Super Soldier. And again, I love that Master Chief just uses regular assault rifle, battle rifle, and stuff. Obviously, you can use weapons more efficiently than other people can, but
it's just a regular weapon.
They are just using weapons.
It's very like sword and sorcery, which is like a big inspiration for Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in addition to just heavy metal and just everything awesome. When the hero slays like a dragon with a sword, it's like the sword itself isn't special, but it's special because they used it.
Mm-hmm.
It now becomes special because it was used for something special.
It gained a legacy through its usage, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
To put everyone on the same page here, Carl.
Yes.
Doom 2016 is the first major installment in the Doom series since 2004's Doom 3, and is a reboot of the franchise. And it kind of is and it isn't a reboot.
It depends. It's entirely up to you how you want to interpret it. Is it the same Doom guy from the first games? That is hinted at. That can be a reading that is acceptable.
It can kind of be insinuated through some elements of the game that this is a continuation and it's the same guy in the same story. Or if you want, it's just completely fresh and, obviously looks like Doom the Dark Ages is like a prequel to 2016, and it's gonna
of what was Doom guy doing in hell before he got trapped under a mountain.
How did Doom gain the legacy of the Doom Slayer among all the demons, right? Yeah.
One of the things I love about Doom is it's essentially a choose-your-own-adventure story where you can interact with the story as much or as little as you want. And if you read all the codexes, people might think, so how does Doom Guy end up on that table at the start of the game? It doesn't matter, but if you want to know, the codexes describe how, he was in hell, and the demons are we need to do something about this dude. We need to do something, and they lured him into a mountain and dropped a mountain on his head. And then they opened the mountain up when he was still alive, and they're like, we don't know if we can kill him, so trap him in a sarcophagus and just don't open it.
He was trapped in hell and just set against an infinite amount of demons, but they couldn't kill him, so they had to just drop a mountain on him instead. An infinite wave of demons was not enough to stop him. He just kept killing.
And the thing is, that can be interpreted again multiple ways, because in the game, it is established that Joe and Doom Guy glory kills an enemy and he gets health back.
Yeah.
That is actually contextualized. Obviously, you get health back 'cause it's a game. Of course, you get health back when you kill enemies. But in game, again, if you read the codexes, they talk about how Doom Guy's armor is powered by Argent energy, which is the thing they're trying to get from hell. So when he rips an enemy apart with his bare hands, he's essentially plunging his hands into pure Argent distilled hell energy, which restores his vitality.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can read that. Is Doom Guy magical and he's kept alive via divine means, or is his technology and his armor so good and he's so good at killing demons that he's just continually given more life? He's kept eternally youthful by the fact that he's always killing demons and therefore always having his reserves of energy tapped up.
Mm-hmm.
But you can interpret it that way, or you can say, he's magic, fuck it. Or you just don't have to explain it because you just want to play Doom.
If you just want to be a player like me, just ripping and tearing and not giving a flying fuck about what is going on in that game, I just want to shoot and rip demons apart.
But isn't that great, though, how if you really want to and you delve into the lore that's revealed, you can interpret Doom Guy's ability to survive in hell either via scientific or via divine means, and both interpretations are valid depending on what you personally believe.
Obviously there's been more and more kind of brought in since the reboot,
yes,
that just add more and more actual definition to the story and the world and the lore and stuff. And we're just talking about Doom here, like that 2016 game of just in that game, there's a lot of room for interpretation, whereas they've kind of narrowed that interpretation down and distilled it a lot more recently.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Doom 2016 is there's codex that's come from two places. There's the codex that's written by Samuel Hayden, and like the people studying Doom Guy, which are written from the scientific perspective. Then there's the codexes, which are written from the demon's perspective. And you can either like all of that or none of that can be true, and it's up to you as a player to decide which of those interpretations you think is true or come up with your own. Mm-hmm. That's why like people have linked it all the way back to the original Doom, and in some cases Wolfenstein, because it is like hinted at in some Doom games that BJ Blazkowicz is a descendant.
Right. Okay.
Or Doom Guy is a descendant of Blazkowicz.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah. Well, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe like Doom Guy's just been teleporting through time is actually just like BJ's dad or something. We don't. I
want to say like. I only played a couple of those Wolfenstein games. Like one of the add-ons gets really fucking weird, and I want to say I've seen a clip of BJ Blazkowicz looking into a portal and Doom Guy's there. Maybe I'm imagining that, but I want to say that like if you could find the clip, it's like BJ looks into a portal and sees Doom or something that would hint at lead to Doom. Maybe
there's another dimension, one of hundreds. Separated from us by the vastness of time and space, and oh my God.
What is it?
It's another world where everything's all right.
Because there's a lot of mystical elements in the Wolfenstein games, because it leans into like the occultism that the Nazis were trying to study. Mm-hmm. So there's like a bunch of weird like nebulous magic shit in that.
There's plenty of room for us to talk about Wolfenstein and how we are okay with people punching Nazis in the face.
Can you imagine if Doom Guy went to like the Wolfenstein universe, how fucked the Nazis would be? Can you imagine the level of rage that would like seep out of every one of Doom Guy's pores if he went back to Earth after killing all the demons and he found out the Nazis were in charge?
Oh god, yeah. Mecha Hitler's got absolutely nothing on the Doom slate. It'd take him 3 seconds.
See, here's what I want to happen though. Like, if they ever do a crossover, I want like it to show. Do you like Ark of the Covenant being open in Indiana Jones?
Mm-hmm.
I want like the Nazis like, okay, we're now going to open up a portal into another dimension for infinite energy, and then Doom Guy walks out. Just Doom Guy walks out and just sees like the moment he sees a swastika, just immediately punches the guy's head off.
Oh god, because like both Wolfenstein and the Indiana Jones games and like the Doom games, they're all under Bethesda publishing, which is obviously now under Xbox and Microsoft. I just love the idea of like Doom going into either Indiana Jones or Wolfenstein or both and just murdering every Nazi in sight.
It's just like you can see it, can't you, straight away of like them just him walking out. 'Cause like Doom Guy that's one of the things about like we can talk about BJ Blazkowicz in more detail in a future video, no doubt. But one of the great things about his character is that he represents the Nazi ideal. He is the literal Aryan Superman. But he fucking hates
the
Nazis.
Nazis, yeah. Like we all should.
They can't stand the fact that he fucking hates them and everything they stand for.
Oh god, I love the fact that like Machine Games have just gone on this like different path of like, well, we're gonna make Indiana Jones games, but don't worry, that still means we get to games about punching Nazis. It's great. But Doom was released for PlayStation 4, Windows, and Xbox One in May 2016 with a port for Nintendo Switch that was co-developed with Panic Button and released in November 2017, which is one of those miracle Switch ports.
I was about to say, are you familiar with the port of like, it's one of those few Switch games where it's like, I said, how did they get this to run? Because from my understanding, that port is rock fucking solid.
It's a blurry mess, I will say that much. I've played the version on Switch, and I'm pretty sure that thing is running at like 480p at times. But frame rate wise, it just stays like rock solid as far as I'm aware. And the fact that they managed to get that game at all on the Switch is incredible. And the fact that it runs relatively well is insane.
But here's the thing, though. At some point, do you think it was like a challenge for the developers of like, they're aware, we mentioned earlier, like all those... It's like a challenge for hobbyists to port Doom to the stupidest thing they can. Mm-hmm. Do you think like the people who were porting it to a Switch saw that and went, we can't not port it to... Like, people have got the original Doom running on a fucking pregnancy test. What excuse have we got? Like, you've got no excuse, have you?
That's the original like Doom on PC from like the 80s, right? Like that thing has been ran on like every single... I've seen ones where like people have got Doom running on their little like tiny screen that's built into their keyboard.
Yeah,
You've seen like that and stuff.
The best one is someone got Doom to run on Doom. And they somehow managed to like get... I don't know how they did it, but they got Doom running on Doom.
Both games are running independent of each other. That means you need double the memory. I would recommend you to get at least 16 megabytes of RAM.
And I think I've seen Doom running in Minecraft as well.
People have done that, yeah. The one that cracks me up is like, I think it was like an art piece or something, or like just something someone did for a piss take, where they got Doom 2016 on floppy disks. It's like 400 floppy disks just to see if they could. That's the thing. I love that. It's like it's a challenge. That'd be a Wiki Weekends episode I'd love to do if we can find like a list of all the ways that people have ported Doom, because it's a challenge for computer enthusiasts and hobbyists to do it.
Panic button, the people who helped port Doom to the Nintendo Switch, just give them a shout out. They got better known in the industry, it says here, in 2017 when they ported Rocket League to Switch. They also helped with Switch ports of Doom and Wolfenstein 2 as well. And like, I think they've helped with other games on the Switch as well. They've helped port Warframe and Subnautica and Wolfenstein Youngblood, Doom 3, Doom Eternal. They got Doom Eternal running on that thing as well,
which apparently is also quite good. Like, there's some caveats that have to be taken into account. It's not as powerful a machine, but like, if you can forgive the the dip in the quality of the visuals, I said frame rate rock solid, which is what you want, right? It's like I can accept a skip in the visuals if it means that Doom is running like Doom.
Exactly, yeah. You can't have that game dropping frame rate, but you can have that game being a bit blurry and the textures being a bit lower quality.
Because Doom guy's running fucking fast. He's fast, isn't he? You can Wesker teleport. You get that upgrade yet? Where it's like, oh, your glory kill distance is now like 4 times higher. And he just Weskers across the arena.
See, I haven't upgraded that one yet. I think I've only just grabbed the upgrade for that, which, goddamn, that's one of the annoying things. I get annoyed by the fact that all the upgrades are hidden behind secrets in the game. I wish that you could get more upgrades by just ripping and tearing and not worrying about going and finding all the collectibles and stuff.
Like, all your weapons, you do get every weapon through regular gameplay, so that's...
But then all of the upgrades to the weapons are found on, like, the field drones. All your armor upgrades are found on, like, elite guards, and then all of the other upgrades are found on, like, the rune trials. And the rune trials is the one that really pissed me off.
Because some of them just aren't fun.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that I was like, okay, the game gives you a warning. Look, you're going to lose your progress and get teleported into a rune trial from this mission. I thought it'd at least give me a checkpoint. You've got to start the whole mission again if you go, okay, I'll do the rune trial now. Okay, we couldn't get the rune trials running, seamlessly in the, link to the missions and stuff.
Give me a loading screen.
Just put a loading screen in and give me a fucking checkpoint. I like the fact that it sent me back to a mission, and the mission has, like, it was the one where it's, like, that annoying conversation with Samuel Hayden in his office for, like, a solid 3-4 minutes right at the beginning of the mission, and I'm like, I've got to sit through that again, and I'm just there, like, Doom guy stood in that office, like, where are the ripping and tearing?
The destruction of the Argent Tower is devastating, but I am committed to helping you close the portal.
The one thing I do like about Doom 2016 that I don't like that Doom Eternal did, I think we did a playthrough of Doom Eternal. Something we talk about is in Doom 2016, even when you're having to do, like, as you said, boring story exposition stuff, you can run around the room and dick around and not listen to anything Samuel Hayden says. And he'll even comment on the fight you're not listening. In Doom Eternal, they take away control from you so much to force you to do the thing the story wants. Which feels so antithetical, because one of the best things about Doom 2016 is you boot the game up, you get 20 seconds where they say, oh, the Doomslayer's really tough, don't mess with him. You wake up on, like, the table, 2 seconds after waking up, Doom Guy's got a confirmed kill.
And Doom Guy also pushes away the exposition in that first room. Like, the game starts exposing on like a little field drone screen, and he grabs it and like throws it to the side and is like, fuck this, I want to get to killing, which then just is such a weird thing to do if you're going to put like these long cutscene moments where you're just trapped in a room with Samuel just again expositing on you. It's like it's such like that weird dissonance of just you're gonna at one moment tell me don't worry about the story, go fucking kill, and then a mission later you're like no, stop killing for a few minutes, listen to this.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
But at least in those moments, they're few and far between. Normally there's only a couple of seconds where you're not actively in control with Doom Guy. So like in the Samuel Hayden bit, he even says like when you're running around the room looking for resources, sure, loot it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. And like the few times where he'll talk to you, like the bit where he's trying to give you exposition about Argent Energy is actually really useful, but we do have some problems that we need to fix. And Doom Guy just like sarcastically, he looks down, just sees the dead body. And he doesn't need to say anything. He can be like, I think Doom Guy doesn't need to talk because he's got so much personality, and he just looks at the body at the floor, and you know he's fucking like, he's shaking his head. But really, Sam, a few minor issues you need to work out.
Doesn't have much personality to showcase, but he does when he finds a little Doom Guy collectibles.
Oh,
And that's one collectible I do like.
I'd argue that he has a lot of personality. It's just very subtle. Like I said,
it's just not very in your face, right?
It's not, and it's the humour is very subtle, and it's very sarcastic, very dry. Like I said, the bit of just like over the tannoy Sam talking about how we've had a few miscalculations, and Doom Guy just looks down at the corpse on the floor. And that sense of humour does carry through to Doom Eternal a little bit, like the bit where you get in the BFG and Doom Guy just like mashes the button to get the BFG to fire again.
Warning. Mars surface targeted. Safety measures
Would you like me to
activated.
disable the safety protocols?
And is it Doom Eternal where he just fires himself out the cannon?
Yeah, while like someone's telling you probably shouldn't do that, and it's like,
And
no.
he just straps and he's like, whatever, shoot me.
Like when he just walks through the rooms. I don't mind those little moments. They're taking control away from the player, but they are fun. Like when he's walking through the room, the guy's like, hey, you can't be in here. And he doesn't even look at him, he just picks his gun up and keeps walking.
Obviously, there's a lot of similarities between Doom Guy and Samus Aran from Metroid.
Yes.
But just in Metroid Dread on the Switch, there's one line that Samus has, and it's just like, don't worry, I'll get the job done. I can't remember the exact line, but it's just like, Samus, there's no way you're going to be able to do this mission. It's like, shut the fuck up, I've got this. Both Doom Guy and Samus have very few silent moments of personality showcased, but those little bits are like really meaningful and just showcase a lot about the character without saying any words.
You don't need to. It'd actually lessen the impact if I said anything. Like if Doom Guy made a pithy remark when like Hayden's talking about how it's important but there's a few issues, like him just like silently looking down to the body and then looking out to the destruction and pulling out his fucking shotgun.
Yeah, and
he's so powerful. It's like Samus, isn't it, where Kraid rocks up and she sees Kraid, and it's very subtle, people maybe didn't even see it the first time because they were like looking at Kraid, but when Kraid turns up in Dread and Samus drops her guard because she's not
Samus
bothered.
has just dropped her arm down and is already just charging the missile, like, or charging the laser or whatever, right? And it's like, it's just so mundane to Samus to fight Kraid again that she's just dropped her guard, is already charging a laser, and is like, yeah, I guess.
I'll fight you again. Like, how many times do I have to teach you his lesson, old man?
Going back to Doom, Carl,
Yes.
players take the role of the unnamed space marine known as the Doom Slayer.
But he's
as
not
he battles-
unnamed. He's called the Doom Guy, and the Doom. They call him Doom Slayer, and the Slayer and Doom Guy in
But
the
we
game.
don't know if the person in the armor has an actual birth
It
name.
is first name Doom, second name Guy.
They battle demonic forces with an energy mining facility on Mars and in Hell.
And I love Doom as this really obvious critique of capitalism, which is more obvious in 2016 because there's obviously more story that you can get. But when you read the codexes, like written from like Hayden's perspective, of just like where they're talking about, yeah, we opened up a portal to Hell and like 14 demons rolled out and killed everyone in the office, but we still see the potential of it as an energy source. It's like, that's what it'd be like, right? If a portal to Hell opened up tomorrow and a bunch of evil shit poured out, there'd be someone somewhere like, how do we make money off this?
Yeah, and that is essentially a very quick summation of what happens in that game. Is just we opened up a portal to Hell to get energy, and you know what? We think it's worth it.
Yeah, they talk about how it's worth the potential of all life in the universe ending because there is a lot of energy in there.
There is a lot of Argent energy,
which means that if we don't have to pay for it, we're effectively making infinite profits when we sell it.
and if we just drop Doom Slayer in the middle to harvest all that energy, like boom, baby. Doom was announced as Doom 4 in 2008.
Yeah, it went through something. That's why the game itself was seen as this surprise, because everyone was like not expecting great things. Like Doom 3, as you said, was a fine game, but it wasn't really, didn't feel like Doom. It didn't make a big splash. Graphically, I know it did a lot because it's the lighting
it looked
engine
great for the time. Yeah,
the light. It was it's a weird like what if moment in video games where Doom 3 went all in on lighting, but games moved away from lighting and went more to physics and graphics.
I think it might have come out the same year as Half-Life 2, and
Which
Half-Life
went in on
2 was all about, as you say, like the physics and the interaction with objects and stuff like that, whereas Doom 3 was all about the lighting, and that's why the main feature was like the torchlight.
The game was fine, but it didn't really make a splash. But everyone was like, well, Doom 4 has been in development for like 8 years. That's never a good sign.
People were comparing it to the idea of Duke Nukem Forever at the time, right? Which also took like 10 years and was awful at release.
Released around around the time that Doom was in development hell. Also, yeah, it's an older game from an older series. Will that translate to the modern day? And it did for Doom because they lent into everything that made Doom cool.
You say that it was stuck in development hell, and that's just where Doom Guy thrives.
That's the thing. If there's any game that's going to make it out of development hell, it's 1 star in Doom Guy.
It is, yeah. It's just Doom Slayer ripping his way back through development hell like, I'm fucking here, baby.
He didn't want to leave, did he? He loves it in hell. Doom loves being in development hell. It's like, wait, development hell?
He's like, that sounds great. Where can I get more?
Because that reminds you ever heard the story about like Conan the Barbarian?
I've heard some stories, but I don't know what you're referring to when you say that.
So like the guy who wrote the Conan the Barbarian stories, like asked in an interview of like, so do you like writing these stories? Like, not really, no. What? It's like, yeah, but I had a dream once that Conan came to life and threatened to kill me if I wouldn't keep writing his stories, and I was scared of him, so I kept writing his stories. So like, Conan was so badass that his writer thought he would come to life and beat the shit out of him if he stopped writing his stories. That's Doom Guy.
That does sound exactly like what Doom Guy do, right? Just Eventually, he's going to make his way out of hell, whether you publish that game or not.
The longer you leave him in there, the beefier he comes out.
Oh god, he's so beefy in Doom 2016. The version that underwent an extensive development cycle with different builds and designs before the game was restarted in 2011, and then was re-revealed simply as Doom in 2014.
It's so good, right? And that's why people were like, okay, quietly confident that he was going to do well, but also cautious, because there's not many games that have like this long a development cycle and like get literally remade from the ground up. And then I think a bunch of people originally left, and it's like, okay, can they capture the spirit of the original game?
All of this can be said about Metroid Prime 4, and I'm hoping that it comes out as good as Doom.
I'm hoping so as well.
Oh, it's like, speaking of Metroid, just dear God, that game has like been announced in 2017, restarted in like 2019, is coming out in 2025, and I've got to hope.
Let Samus do glory kills.
Oh,
you know she can.
The one game that she does glory kills in was fucking Other M, and it's one person that helped us rip and tear our way through hell, Carl.
It's Mr. Gordon, right?
It's Mick Gordon. And Mick Gordon composed the music with contributions by Richard Devine. It moves on. It just says the game also has online multiplayer. I thought he was going to talk about the audio.
No, we're going to talk more about Mick Gordon. Fuck that. Like, the game is sold by his soundtrack. And you can tell like, how much he just loves music. Where he just has a guitar in front of him and he talks about how, like, well, obviously Doom is so inspired by heavy metal. How could we not have guitars on the soundtrack? Because I think initially they told him, don't put guitars in. And, like, Mick Gordon was the guy who put guitars in Doom. Because when they initially did it, went, no, it's too cheesy. It's too cheesy to put guitars in. Because it's like, and then Mick Gordon kept saying, but it's Doom. The game was literally inspired by heavy metal album covers. And what he did is, he's really clever, where he'd send a mix through and he'd put like 10% guitar in. Weirdly enough, people like the guitar and they say, oh, we like that. Can you emphasise that a bit more? Okay, and then he put more, but then he put a bit more guitar in, and then a bit more, and then a bit more, and then eventually, like, it was the thrust of a soundtrack. And just, can you imagine if they'd released that game and it didn't have any heavy metal in the soundtrack?
Yeah, and you pretty much, like, when I scroll down soundtrack, you've pretty much nailed it on the head there. Just, they said that, you know, the original Doom had an ambient thrash metal soundtrack by Bobby Prince, but it felt that the genre had grown corny, so they encouraged Gordon to use synthesizers. And then it says, according to Gordon, after 6 to 9 months of doing just synthesizers, he convinced it to allow the use of guitars and started experimenting and augmenting with their
There's an
sound.
interview where he talks about it, where it's like he kept slipping them into the mixers, and for some reason, people like the mixer with guitars in.
You say for some reason, like, we're not going to be able to put the music from the game in this annoyingly, because it's just going to get copyright struck to fucking hell.
At the very least, put in the him playing the riff, because there's a bit where he talks about when he came up with the riff, where he talks like there's a lot, like, Doom is one of those like things that everyone who plays guitar can play the opening riff to Doom, because it's just Master of Puppets. And
what E1M1 is?
E1M1 is like dun 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 dun. If you again, you can't put the clip in, but during the edit, listen to like the opening to Master of Puppets, and then listen to E1M1.
Fair, yeah.
And there's other like references as well. Some people say there's another song. I think personally it's Master of Puppets, but when he shows you when he's going through it, and he was like, "Well, this is what it sounds like normally," but then like we've got to mix it up a little bit, right? It's been a couple of years now, and it's just you see him just in real time improvise on the riff, and it's like that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That original E1M1 riff is iconic. It is Doom. I wanted to find a way to kind of make that bigger and bolder. Then what I was able to do was reconstruct E1M1 using the 9-string guitar while still incorporating those 4 original notes.
Said that he combined a 9-string guitar with a sample of the chainsaw sound from the original Doom game to make that main riff.
The funny thing is, all that guitar he talks about it, like, have you still got that guitar? I had to give it away. He gave it to the guy, the lead guitarist of Trivium, because he's friends with like the guitarist from Trivium. And he went, they made more use of it than I did, because I used it for Doom, and then I never used it again, so I gave it to them. So the guitar that composed Doom, Trivium play on that guitar.
It says that players discovered pentagrams and the number 666 hidden in the track via spectrograms, and it's like, I remember this being a weird thing of like mums and dads got it up in arms about like the soundtrack convincing kids to be evil or something.
Yeah,
right?
That was a joke on behalf of Gordon, because the original game was seen as being satanic, despite the fact that every time they got asked about it, we're like, you literally kill demons. It's the opposite of satanic. If there's ever a game out there that you want your kids to play if you're scared of like demons, it's this one.
Yeah.
Right, and so as a joke, after he finished the soundtrack and just before he mastered it, he put in, like he said, just big pentagrams. If you listen to it on the sonograph, you just see like a big fucking pentagram show up.
But it does say that in 2017 at the Game Developer Conference, Gordon revealed the presence of a reversed message in the track, and it just says "Jesus loves you."
Yeah, because that's another reference, like the satanic panic around heavy metal, which like Doom was inspired by. I believe the quote from Bobby Prince when he's like composed the soundtrack for the original Doom is he got handed a stack of heavy metal albums and thrash metal albums and was told, do that.
Fair, yeah.
And the satanic panic around like rock music, there was loads of theories about playing rock songs backwards, and I think it was Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe like there was some like musician who was asked of like, do you put like subliminal messages in your music? Because there was rumours that it was like subliminal messages telling people like to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And whichever musician it was who was like hauled in front of a court went, we don't put subliminal messages in our music, and if we did, we wouldn't tell our fans to kill themselves. We'd tell them to buy more music. And like they got held in contempt for like making light of it. And it's like, but it's a stupid thing to ask.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a reference to that. So it's like, Jesus loves you. How powerful would Jesus be in Doom? Can you imagine if the next Doom game, like because it's a prequel, right? If like Joe and it's like open with like Doom guy on the table, you know where I'm going, Lucas. You open your eyes and it's you being nailed to the cross.
And you just glance over at Jesus there.
Yeah, and he pulls the nail out and he stabs the Roman in the head with the nail. And that's the game.
Dear, oh dear. Oh god. I was gonna end by like just saying that there's like other bits and pieces that I could nitpick, and then you just come in with like the maybe Doom guy was nailed to the cross.
Thing is, how many videos have we had where I've just completely railroaded it by just making this wild ass pull out of nowhere, which sounds hype as fuck you don't want to talk about for 45 minutes?
Can you imagine? Carl, if like Doom the Dark Ages, it turns out like Doom guy is actually like a missionary sent by Jesus or God or something?
No, he's Jesus. Like I said.
Well, he is Jesus, okay, right.
Recreate Doom 2016, but it's Jesus on the cross. And he wakes up in hell on the cross and pulls out the nail and stabs a demon with it.
You know, all those kind of, you know, Bible games and all this with Jesus loves you and shit inside. If they had the balls to be like, fuck it, it's Doom, but you play as Jesus. You just run around doing glory miracles on people.
Oh man, it's like Dante's Inferno, isn't it? That's the topic for another day.
Oh god, have we not talked about that at some point?
No, we need to though.
Yeah, god, that's a game.
Do you know what? We could even play through it maybe on a theoretical gaming channel that we'd like to launch.
On a gaming channel that you can help support by going over to our Patreon link, to which you can find below.
Because one of my goals is to launch a channel, right? And Doom, the Dark Ages, and potentially Dante's Inferno will be games we play on there.
God, I think we'd be playing all of the Doom games before we get to Dante's Inferno.
Well, Dante's Inferno will be a nightmare to get on YouTube, because there's literally a level. People don't know Dante's Inferno, you go through the 7 circles, like Dante Alighieri's Hell, which isn't accurate. It's just fan fiction he wrote because he didn't like people or whatever. And the lust circle is just tits. There's just like the Tower there's a Tower of Babel, but it's like the Tower of Tits.
It'd have to be like a Patreon exclusive video.
I don't know how you'd even censor that. It's just tits.
I have no idea how you'd get that episode on YouTube yet.
It's just tits all the way down. Like the final boss is just a lady with just like covered in tits and like snakes fly out of her tits, and I'm like, why is this Why is this here?
Well, that's a video game to discuss another day, Carl.
Another day.
It is indeed, but you know what? Let's all just get hype in the comments about Doom the Dark Ages and how cool it's going to be to just be like medieval Doom guy with a giant soul shield.
I'm going to be so mad if he's not Jesus now. I don't
He's
know why
not going to be Jesus.
I don't know why I do this to myself, where I think of a super hype thing that's not going to happen and then get mad that it's not going to happen.
Doom guy is not going to be Jesus in the next game, I'm afraid.
But can you could picture it in your head though of how hyped that'd be, right?
All I want is for Doom guy to start the game at like the gates of heaven, and God's like, "Don't worry, you're not done yet. I've got a mission for you." Oh, that's all I want. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Let's go. Jesus, going in, swinging.
And thank you to everyone that's watched till the end of the video. We would like to just use this opportunity to give a little shout out to everybody supporting on our highest tier over on our Patreon.
Yes, if you've watched any YouTube video by now, you know what the deal is. You give us money on Patreon, we shout your name out at the end of the video, regardless of how stupid it sounds. And Lucas, what's the first name we have to shout out today?
Well, the first name isn't stupid, Carl. It's quite awesome because it is B of Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, behold your new god.
B of Awesome.
Mortals. Well, that's not a bad name, Lucas, but I counter it with Dan Daly, or one word. I feel like we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now, Lucas.
And I play my Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
Our Patreon has no pathetic supporters, but it does have Dan Daly.
No one's ever been able to call him.
Just mind crush.
And Carl, the next card that I'm going to play has actually requested a clip for you to put in this edit. So
okay.
I guess that's your job now, but they would like to dedicate this to the goal of adding a gaming channel to our repertoire. And that is from the lovely Michael Tatum.
Okay, it's $500, you have no choice of carrier, the battery can't hold a charge, and the reception isn't very—
Shut up and take my money!
And that's the first person so far to request a specific clip, because a joke I like to do with our end of video shoutouts is just put a random clip in from a show or a movie with that person's name superimposed over it. And if people have a funnier clip or a specific clip they'd like us to put with their name superimposed over it, why not, right? I actually like that because I'm running out of like clips to find, so that would be helpful.
Identify this Pokemon.
This is gonna be a breeze for me. It's a Voltorb.
And the answer is A.
Michael Tatum.
Seen from above.
And Carl, I guess another way that people can like support us with their money is to just get us to read out silly names.
Yeah, so in that vein, and last but certainly not least, the final person we like to shout out is Woo Won King Day Willy Wonka. I'm now wondering, Lucas, what is like the longest name you can have on Patreon? Because could somebody change their name to ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang, ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang?
I guess we'll see maybe next month. I don't know.
Because that's the clip I'm putting in for Woo Won King Day Willy Wonka. Woo Won King Day Won Willy Wonka. Ooh-ah. That's going in.
Oh my god.
Hey, witch doctor, give us the magic words.
Woo Won King Day Won Willy Wonka.
Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bang-bang.
Thank you, of course, to everyone for supporting us over on our Patreon, and thank you also just for watching.
Yeah, it's very much appreciated, and we'll see you all next time.